Spoiler alert.
No.
So we're in Wakanda, and it's 6 years ago, and this takes us about to maybe 2017 after Black Panther, but before Infinity War, and now Bucky is no longer the Winter Soldier. He's not triggered anymore. Then we're going after Carly because she's bombing a building, and Sam goes in alone to talk her down, and Captain America, John Walker, he's impatient and he barges in there and scares her away. Zemo shooting at Carly, Zemo smashing the serums. Then later we got Zemo pissing off Bucky more and him punching him out and throwing glass at the wall. We got, this is hard.
45 seconds.
The Dormilaje show up from Wakanda, and they are fighting John Walker, and God, this is hard.
1.
It was too much.
Yeah, you got a pretty good amount in there, though, I will say.
So much happened, and my memory of the order is just like fucked up.
So what's going on, guys? Again, we are without Mike, and last week you guys were without me. I had a prior engagement to a wedding, which is fun. But
yeah, we called you out on all that last time.
What'd you call me?
We called you guys out. We're like, they're AWOL. They're not here. Thanks a lot, guys. Because it was that last episode. There was so much crap in it that went on that we needed assistance with, so we just skipped over it.
So I'm back. We have a brand new episode of Falcon Winter Soldier, and a lot of stuff happened in this one as well. This is probably the most exciting show. This is probably the most exciting episode that's happened in the show so far. It starts out, like Julia said, it starts out in Wakanda right before Infinity War. So it basically is just showing how they got Bucky to not snap back into Winter Soldier mode.
This
be controlled. Just, yeah, he doesn't have an arm. He looks like African Jesus, which is awesome. Because I'm so glad, because yes, so glad that I was able to see that they're bringing back Wakanda, and they're mentioning Wakanda in this whole thing, since it is a huge part of Bucky's story in the cinematic universe. They are back in this, but we'll get to that a little bit later. So it starts out with there's the Flag Smashers. I can never remember her name. What's her name?
Carly
Morgenthau.
Yeah.
So Carly Morgenthau has bombed a building, and they have to find her because they're afraid that she's going to keep doing it, which she says she's going to keep doing it. Sam wants to talk to her. He doesn't want to stop her, bring her to justice. He wants her to realize what she's doing instead of bringing her to justice like how John Walker wants to do. John Walker is huge in this episode. He is a big part in this episode, and you'll see why later on. So they start and they try to plan out what they're going to do. They still have Sharon Carter helping them in this episode, who was introduced last week. There's a lot of talking, and there's a lot of trying to explain that Sam's gone through the same stuff that Carly's been through. And just trying to help her get through what she is trying to do and how she's trying to fight this battle, but they know that they can fight it in a different way, in a better way that won't kill thousands and thousands of people.
I like the conversation right before that between Zemo, Sam, and Bucky, when Sam does mention, oh, she's just a kid, and that parallels to when Steve said that about Wanda.
Yeah.
So, that's kind of the argument why Sam would make an ideal, if anything, Captain America, because he has that same perception Steve does. That Zemo was saying how what the serum does to you, the desire to be that super soldier and like the supremacist ideals. And then Bucky points out, well, the serum never corrupted Steve. And Zemo says, touche, there's never been another Steve Rogers though.
Mhm.
So that was a huge line and conversation in the episode.
The other thing I want to bring up, it has to deal with Sam's military background and training. They talked about how he has dealt with soldiers in the past with PTSD. He knows how to talk through that properly. So I love how this series is also giving more of a backstory to Sam that we really did not know much about him. Same with Bucky. I feel like Bucky has gotten more screen time than Sam in the past, but we knew more about Bucky than Sam. And so I thought that was a brilliant part of this episode where he wanted to go in and talk to Carly himself. Are we at this point right now or not yet, Brian?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the other, going off of what you said, it helps to have this background and more revealed about Bucky, because when I watched Infinity War and then Endgame, all of a sudden, from what happened before with Bucky, you're like, oh, okay, so now he's like considered a good guy. He's on their side fighting, together. But we never saw that, what they showed in this series in Wakanda, how he became basically okay and not triggered anymore. Because before, when we had Zemo involved in this, he was saying those trigger words and was causing him to react. So I do like the background we're getting.
That scene when he was so emotional, it was so good.
It was.
It's nice to see him not play. It's nice to see him actually show more emotion than just anger and confusion, and see him actually be emotional like he was in the very first Captain America, when before he got tossed off the train, he was playful, he was jokey, and he was a normal human being. And that scene in Wakanda only happens like maybe for 30 seconds, when you actually see him like break. You don't see him be the soldier anymore. You see him break and he cries, because that's the first time in a long time that they've said these words and they've done nothing to him.
I feel like these series have pulled out so much more potential in these actors. Like, look what they did just with that with Sebastian Stan, the performance he did for Bucky right there. And then Elizabeth Olsen, what she did in WandaVision, same thing. So I feel like they're pulling out more emotion than they actually did on screen for the movies, which I love.
They're giving them more storyline and attention and view time that someone like Robert Downey Jr. would get, without giving them their own whole entire, kind of end up being a whole movie, which is cool.
I was actually having this conversation at work with somebody else that I can't really think of too many Marvel actors from this Marvel Cinematic Universe where I say they got the casting wrong. They portray these characters to the point where if I were to look at a comic book and then look at them, they're pretty close.
Yeah.
Who else could you see playing Iron Man but Robert Downey Jr.?
No one.
Who else could you see? And then going to this, Anthony Mackie is probably one of the best character actors I've ever seen.
He's just great on screen.
He's amazing because he can do the funny stuff. He can make you smile without even by just him smiling himself. And then he can literally turn it on and be serious and emotional, like when he was talking to Carly. And you can see that the wheels in her head are turning when he's talking about, you have the opportunity to make sure that you have the opportunity to fight this battle, because the whole thing is that they want to go back to what it was happening, but they explain why they want to go back to it instead of just saying, I'm evil, I'm doing this because I liked it better back then. It's because they were living in homes and they had jobs. And then when everybody got blipped back into existence, those people kicked them out of their jobs and kicked them out of their homes. So they're making this character seem more realistic and not just say, I'm evil, this is what I'm doing. It's I was living happily and somebody came back from being gone and kicked me out of what I was. John Walker, who whatever anybody says, he's this guy, I think it's Russell Crowe's.
Not Russell Crowe.
Wait, who? Russ?
It's what's his name who's in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. That's his dad.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's
Kurt
what it is.
Russell. Kurt
I was
Russell.
thinking of Russell Crowe.
I
It's
was
very
like,
easy.
wait a second.
It's gonna, yeah. So Wyatt Russell, Kurt Russell's son.
Dude, he's getting death threats in real life.
Oh yeah.
People are so mad at him. It's like, guys, he's just portraying somebody, but it's going that far with how people are taking how he's portraying.
Well, he pissed me off when Sam went in to do his thing, and then he's all like pacing back and forth, like, bad idea, I'm going in.
He's another actor who, first of all, I didn't know who he was when he first came out. Watching these last 3 episodes with him in it, I absolutely love this actor. He's awesome in what he's portraying, because what he's trying to do is he's trying to be Captain America, but nobody wants him to be Captain America.
He said that he was following Steve Rogers' career, but I feel like he didn't the way he's acting. And I know he's trying to do his own thing, but at the same time, I don't like at all how he's taking this character down the road.
In his mind, he's like, I'm Captain America. I'm the one who should be making these decisions, how we should deal with Carly. That's why he wants to go and interfere. Then, like, let's just jump to the scene later where we have the, I always pronounce it wrong, Dora Milaje, the ones from Wakanda. The 2 women come in, and he's like, okay, put the pointy sticks down. He tries to basically assert his authority over them, and he's like, you don't have
his dominance.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, and because I don't remember if they explained this. I have a feeling what they're going to do later on is that he never wanted to be Captain America, but he was the best candidate for it.
I don't know.
I really see that happening, because you can see him trying so hard to follow what Steve did before, but it's not working because nobody is trying, because nobody wants to follow him. He's not what Captain America is, because there's only one Captain. You can see the parallels with Anthony Mackie too, because it feels like when he says it feels like the shield's not his, he's saying he doesn't feel like he can fill those shoes. He's saying like he doesn't feel like he can really be Captain America. He can be Falcon, and he's really damn good at being Falcon. He can't be Captain America. And that's where I think at the end of the show, he's going to be like, I can be Captain America when I'm doing what I'm doing here. Why everybody's mad at John Walker is because he ruined something that could have been amazing for this series, and seeing what this bad person, this front runner of the Flag Smashers, he ruins that when Sam is talking to her and talking her down, and ruins that because she now thinks that he's
and by doing that, there's no way people can like him because he's put in that role by the writer. So whenever he's in that scene, he's going against something that Sam's doing, which is good. It's going to be beneficial to try to stop her, and then he interferes with it, and he's constantly thrown as the bad guy, basically.
Yeah. John Walker so far has been put into bad situations because he wants to be accepted by the Avengers. He wants to be accepted by Sam and Bucky.
You could see that he felt humiliated when the Dora Milaje women basically threw him down, and he's like on the ground, like whimpering. They weren't even super soldiers.
Yeah.
But I love when Bucky and Sam are just standing there, and then Bucky's
and then Zemo's just like drinking his like glass of alcohol or whatever he has.
So he's letting it happen.
It's delights.
But we skipped a part. There's a huge fight that happens. John Walker interferes with Battlestar, his partner, and Zemo, who I was telling everybody else, and I wish I could have done this last week. I never expected this from Zemo. I thought he was going to be exactly like he was in Civil War. I didn't expect him to be
his dance.
I didn't expect him to be a billionaire playboy having lavish parties and all this stuff. Like, not even close.
So it reminds me of the scene in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang where there's that toy, the kidnapper. He's like, "Children, I've got lollipops," and
Oh yeah.
Zemo coming in with, "I've got Turkish delights," and he's just like handing
Well,
this
and you
candy.
cut out. You cut out the end of it. What is the thing you just said?
The part in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang where that guy with the black, he's all dressed in black. He's like, "Children, I've got lollipops." And
Yeah.
so
Oh my
Zemo's
God.
handing like, "I got Turkish delights," and he's handing
Oh,
out the candy.
And
Yeah, when he was like humming that song, I was like, this sounds like a horror movie going on.
Oh yeah, he's they're definitely giving him way more character than they did in Civil War. Because Civil War, but he was just a means to the end because all we wanted to see in Civil War was Cap versus Iron Man.
Yeah.
They're showing him a lot more in this, and it's fun. So Zemo's back, as he was last week. He's trying to kill this Carly girl, literally trying to kill her, and they knock over a bunch of the super soldier serum, and he's smashing every single super soldier serum he finds, except for one. And the person that finds it is John Walker. And instead of him being Captain America and not using it, he takes it and puts it in his pocket.
The
So
whole
did he technically take it in the episode? Because what was the deal?
hold on, let me say this. So the whole time when we saw John like picking up the blue serum, putting it in his pocket, me and Jennifer kept wondering, oh, he like, when's he gonna take that? And then we thought maybe he did going into the last fight scene, but we weren't sure yet. I mean, no one knows for sure.
Oh no, he took it.
Oh, he
Without a
did.
doubt, he took it.
Oh, so he did.
And the
Because like,
reason
are
being,
you talking about that? Because he smashed through the window with his shield at the end.
no,
He already hit him.
he's already taken it. And the reason being is because he's able to bend that steel with no problem. And when he threw his shield, it actually went into the wall instead of bouncing off of it.
Didn't when he bent that, Sam looked at him.
Oh yeah.
Like,
So
oh
look,
shit.
wait,
The Wakandan guards come in to find Zemo because they're going to take him. They gave Bucky 8 hours. They're going to take him now because he's not there. They get into a fight with John Walker and Battlestar, and then Bucky and Sam jump in, and Zemo just splits. He's gone. It's a fun fight to watch.
He goes down the sewer hole.
Oh yeah, it's a fun fight to watch too because it proves that the Wakandan warriors are just badass. They can do whatever they want. And she even says that because they say you don't have jurisdiction in Latvia, and she says I have jurisdiction wherever I need jurisdiction. And I'm like, oh, that's badass. Jeez.
Yeah.
So that happens. Now he's gone. Now they have to figure out where this Carly girl is, and Carly actually calls Sam's sister.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And that's probably one of the scariest things I've ever heard, because that's just a random person calling you.
Yeah.
To tell your brother to meet him somewhere. And if you don't, they're going to come after you. That means somebody's watching them. Without a doubt, that means somebody's watching.
And then she knew the kids, his nephew's names and everything. It's like, dang.
Oh yeah. She's not just a kid doing this thing. She's legitimate. The final fight starts. John Walker comes in by himself and ruins another talking point between Falcon and Carly.
Bucky was there too.
Yeah, Bucky was there too. Bucky is in this episode. Bucky's kind of a bystander. He really is. Sam's doing most of the talking in this episode.
But that
Bucky's
arm thing.
Oh, I forgot to mention the arm thing. When the Wakandan warriors, he tries to stop them from killing somebody, and they basically just poke their arm 3 times, and his arm falls off. Literally, his arm just falls off.
I don't have my big Buzz Lightyear, so here's my little Buzz Lightyear. I'm Bucky. You know that scene in Toy Story where his arm comes off?
Yeah.
All the
How
memes.
he like swung his arm back into place.
Yeah. And Bucky didn't know they could do that.
No.
He had no idea. So the final fight's happening. Battlestar gets taken, and which kind of sucks because Battlestar really hasn't. You hate him.
I'm upset. So I want to talk about this. I'm upset with his like what happened with him. His character deserved more. You know, throughout the whole thing, he's just the sidekick, the little guy with John Walker, doesn't get much recognition, especially when fans come over, like we saw in this episode, to get John Walker's autograph. And then John goes, "Oh, were you like a little like jealous that they didn't ask for Battlestar's autograph?" Things like that, like back in the shadows. So during this fight scene, you know, once he breaks himself free, we're back into the fighting scene with knives. I called it like knife play, basically. You got all of them just whipping, twirling, spinning knives around. But when Carly jumps and punches Lamar, aka Battlestar, throws him against a post and knocks him out, and then it basically, I don't know,
snaps his neck or something.
Neck.
Or snaps his back too.
And I was so sad during that part. I was like, no, they can't kill him. He didn't deserve that.
Oh yeah, it's very surprising. And the thing is like, that's the point where you actually have sympathy for John Walker. He just watched his friend die.
That affected him, you could tell.
That's what happened with Steve. That's what's happened with Iron Man when he thought that Rhodey was going to die.
Oh yeah.
This is where you get the sympathy from. What you don't see from what people usually don't see is how it affects a superhero after. Cap tries to get drunk, but he can't because of super soldier serum.
Oh yeah.
You don't really see what happens with Tony. He wants to go and find Steve in Civil War. With this, you see him snap. He doesn't run down the stairs. He doesn't try to like calm down before he does something rash. He chases down the Flag Smasher because they all run, and he jumps through a window. And this is the first time I'm like, okay, Captain America's gonna kill somebody, and he does.
Yeah.
When he jumps out of that window and lands on that van, that was like, boom! It's serious at that point.
He's chasing them down, and the saddest thing is that backstory. One of the Flag Smashers and he says he was born a Captain America fan.
Yep.
He grew up loving Captain America. He's the one that gets killed by Captain America. Cap literally, if this was an R-rated movie, he would have cut off his head with that shield.
Yeah, he died by, you'd say, the hands of the shield.
Oh yeah, but he's smashing, and of course, in this modern world, people are recording this.
Yeah,
they're recording it. It's probably going on the internet. It's probably being tweeted to the internet at that point. And he puts back on the shield. And they don't show it until the final frame of this episode. The final image that you see is him standing there with the shield with blood dripping. And it just it's almost unreal because it's Captain America. You don't see that. You don't see him do this stuff. He's the one that fought Nazis. When you see Captain America, he's supposed to be fighting Nazis, but the worst that he ever did in the comic books was he punched Hitler in the gut. That's it. I'm sure later on in the comics, because there's a lot of comics out there that I haven't read from it, he's done maybe worse things where Captain America's like, okay, it's really not Captain America. This guy really does it in public where he's killing a man near a statue without any sort of resentment. He snaps. And this is where you see Captain America go, holy crap.
The guy who he was attacking and killing, he gave up. He was not going at him.
Yeah.
So it's bad to see Captain America lunging at someone and killing them when they've basically given up and saying, hey, like, I'm backing off, not going, back at him. And so that really looked bad. And then when the scene ends and you see the blood with the shield, you're left thinking Steve was never like that.
Yeah. We have a new almost villain that we don't even know is going to be completely a villain. Because in the next episode, he might just say, I'm sorry, I lost my cool. I will take whatever responsibility there is. We have no idea. And that's what's really cool about this is because we don't have an idea of where this Captain America is going to go. He could turn out to be a really good guy. We have no idea. What it's looking like is that that's not going to happen. But there's still a chance where he is going to become an ally to Sam and Bucky, but he just won't be Captain America anymore. Overall, though, I would give this is the first one I'm going to give an 8. These past episodes have been very slow building. which is fine. That's what they're trying to do here. They're trying to build it like a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot of action, but this one has a lot of stuff happening in it.
I will have to say, like, you're saying this right now about the action, and I've been hearing people complaining about it other times. I feel like people literally want so much action every episode, it's like ridiculous. Even in the Marvel movies, every single second there's not an action scene. You need to have moments for other things to happen. So when you, Brian, and everyone else like, we want action, this is slow build. It's like, just wait, like, things will happen.
Wasn't enough is what I'm saying. Like, yes, you need the dialogue scenes and more calm things happening, but because, like Brian was saying, it's the Falcon and Winter Soldier, it's a completely different type of genre than, you know, WandaVision was, because yeah, they had action scenes, but it wasn't until the end of that show where it started feeling like an actual Marvel movie, because there was a fight scene at the end.
And WandaVision didn't need the action because of what they were doing with the gimmick of the TV shows, where they were, because WandaVision was more of a mystery show than anything else. You didn't know what was going on. You couldn't tell what was going on. Everybody had their ideas where everybody thought Mephisto was coming in, and everybody thought this is how they're going to introduce the X-Men and all that stuff.
Exactly.
And so everybody was wrong. Yeah.
So I guess exactly. And I guess my point being is that WandaVision didn't have, because it was a different format and genre, like you said, kind of a mystery, it didn't need the kind of action that I'd say Falcon and Winter Soldier requires. I feel like that's the perfect, you know, that's what they need in that show, because it's the Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Well, they do have action still. Like, there's been action scenes and fighting, and
just wanting more of it, I guess.
When it comes down to it, this is what Captain America Winter Soldier was, where it's a very much political thriller where they're trying to figure out who's going to do what, where the spies are coming from, and how they're going to stop this menace without causing worldwide destruction, which is fine. We like that. And again, the reason why I'm saying that this is getting my highest rating is because they gave us a good balance of both. In the first three episodes, except for that first one. That first one had a really good action scene with Falcon and the Jumper, which I'm also a huge fan of, because that's George St. Pierre, who's a really awesome UFC fighter, and that's just fun to see him back from the Winter Soldier. But after that, there really wasn't too much. There was the stuff that Sharon Carter did in the last episode, but that only happened for maybe 2 minutes, maybe. This is 3 full fights that we get to see, with John Walker being what he is. You get to see them actually beat Falcon and Winter Soldier instead of Sam and Bucky, which everybody loves seeing Sam and Bucky. They have great chemistry. Finally, we get to see them have.
This episode, you could say it was action packed.
Yeah.
Compared to others.
So my rating is 8. What do you guys give it?
I give it. This has been my favorite episode. I think I'd give it actually a 10, because it kept, at the end of it, I was like so shocked what happened, and it just left you on that cliffhanger of, oh my god, what's going to happen next. It was so good though. And then the wondering of like, oh, is he going to take the serum? And it was a lot of things. I liked it.
I would give it a 10. I've liked all of the episodes. If anything, last episode was the one that there was a lot of stuff going on that I feel like needed more explanation, or maybe like my brain wasn't in the right place when watching it. That's why I was like, oh, I need Brian and Mike here to, explain some stuff. But yeah. So I give this one a 10.
Yeah. So stay tuned. We have 2 more episodes, I believe, because this is only a 6 episode series, and then after that we have Loki coming out, which we got a trailer for, which I'll do a little video for, because that's just fun. He's going into the multiverse and doing all this really cool stuff. Falcon Winter Soldier, you have to watch it. Make sure you guys like our Facebook, our Twitter, our Instagram. Do we have Twitter still?
I don't even use it really anymore. We have it.
Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah.
Comment, like, subscribe. We will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.